everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Susan Timchak. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome you here. Tonight what I thought I would share with you is a basic toolkit for stamping. Everyone always asks me, when they start rubber stamping, what are the basic tools? So while there are a lot of different types of tools and a lot of different things you can purchase, what I want to go over with you tonight is just some basics that you need to get started. Of course, we all know that we need stamps, ink, and paper. So I always think of that as you take a sip. Stamps, ink, paper. Those are a must in order to stamp. So some of the other basic tools, I put together a little basic toolkit here. This is one of our plastic containers that can be purchased through Stampin' Up! That these are the cases that our stamps come in. So this is the larger one, and it's perfect for this. If you wanted to decorate it, there's a little piece of plastic here. So for instance, of course I wouldn't be using this, but some decorative paper. You can slip in here and you can decorate your case and just, keep it all nice and keep your little basic tools all together. So let's open this up and do a little exploring, shall we? Okay, so when I open this up, what I have is adhesive. In order to assemble your your cards, you need to have some type of adhesive. So this is actually a tape runner by Stampin' Up! And it's called snail adhesive. Now it's snail adhesive, not that it's slow because it works really fast. It's simply inline, I don't know, some kind of, it means something, but snail adhesive, a double-sided tape runner. It's really fun to use. When this is all used up, you don't have to throw the whole thing away. You push the top and bottom. It opens up. This is your tape, so this gets thrown in the trash. This you keep, and then all you have to do is purchase a refill. So your basic snail adhesive, when you buy it, it comes with a refill already in it. When you need a refill, it's a lot less expensive just to buy the refill instead of buying a whole new tape runner. So that's a choice of glue. Something else very popular, this is our Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. Multi-Mono Liquid Glue. Anyhow, we call it Tombow, aka green glue. And let me show you one that I already have. This one isn't opened yet. So this one is used and abused. The great part of this is it's a liquid glue. So when you position something down, you have the opportunity to move things around for a little bit. Whereas when you stick something down with the snail adhesive, it's not that it's permanent, because you can kind of like breathe on it, well, I don't want to call it huffing, but breathe on it between the two layers and pull it apart that way. But with the liquid glue, you have the ability to kind of move it around a little bit before it becomes permanent. And it also has two tips on it. So this is a fine tip, and then this one is if you have a larger area to cover, you can squeeze it out on that tip. I tend to use the fine tip because of the fact that, I'm not covering a whole big area with the glue. So those are our glue options. We have other glue options. We have a more permanent, if you're doing 3D dimensional things, tear and tape. We also have, other glues and things. But just to get started, I'd recommend either the liquid glue or a tape runner, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So that's our glue. Something else, this is called a bone folder. And let me just grab a piece of cardstock here, because of course I always have cardstock. So a bone folder is actually made out of, I believe it's the thigh of a cow. So it's very durable. I've had them for years. This is a new one because I didn't want to show you my ugly used up and abused ones. So the reason for a bone folder is, now this one is already scored because I used my scoring tool to score it. But if it wasn't, and you want to take your 8.5 by 11, cut in half, you get 2 cards out of a sheet. And in order to have a nice crisp crease on it, you'll bring these two together and you'll take your bone folder and just simply go back and forth. Just like that. And look at the nice edge that makes on there. You don't get any of those wrinkles or any of those ugly kind of things. And it real nice fold on there. Very professional looking. So bone folder is another must, in my opinion. Something else that that we need are scissors. These are our paper snips, and they're very affordable, and they're great if you're doing little fussy cutting. They're great for cutting your ribbons, although I would recommend, as far as scissors go, you have one for paper and one for ribbon, because if you're a person that sews, you know what happens when someone uses your fabric scissors on paper. It'll be great to work for paper, but when you go back to cut your fabric, it just won't cut as well. Same goes true with paper snips. So put a little ribbon on one so that you know that's for ribbon only, and then have another one that is for your paper. And there is a protective little cover that comes with it. Lord only knows what happened to mine, because you know, things just get whatever. So paper snips, that's another must. Okay, something else I would recommend, and this is actually cut in half. This is a paper piercing mat. So you can use this for paper piercing, and I would also recommend a paper piercing tool. So this is the paper piercing tool, and they're sold separately. Now this one, like I said, I cut it in half, so it's actually larger than this. I use one for stamping, and then the other half I use when I wanted to do some paper piercing, which is basically taking your paper and poking holes in it to make a design. And that's where this piercing tool comes in handy. And you want to, of course, have a nice area for that. So keep one designated for your paper piecing. You can buy two, or you can buy one and cut in half like I did. Whatever works for your budget. The other one I mark stamping. So when I'm using a photopolymer stamp, where if you saw another video I did where it explains our different types of stamps, photopolymer doesn't have any type of cushion on it. So this helps to make a nice cushion, and it helps to make a better what's the word I'm looking for? A better outline of your stamp. It gives you a little more cushion, and it gives a little better, oh, I'm lost for words. Believe that, right? Just gives you a better image, a better quality image by using this with your photopolymer stamps. So, and also the paper piercing tool is great when you have little embellishments that you have to pick up, or you have little rhinestones or pearls. You can just slip them under that, and they're on your tip, and you can place them wherever you like when you're putting on your different adhesive, your different like rhinestones and pearls that have adhesive on the back. Also, if you put a little glue dot on the tip of this, it very easily helps you to pick up sequins and little pearls and beads and things, and a definite must-have in your basic toolkit. So now those are the basics, okay? And if you have a nice little case like this, you can keep all of your basic supplies in here, and this way they're all ready to go. So if you have a demonstrator where, you know, she recommends you bring your own cutting and glues and things like that, you are ready to go to your next stamp class. So now, if you want to step it up a bit, another recommendation would be our Stampin' trimmer. Now the Stampin' trimmer that Stampin' Up! Carries is the best trimmer in all my 17 years of stamping and cutting paper. More than two reasons, a lot of reasons. This has an extendable wad that goes out way beyond 12-inch paper for your 12 by 12. It goes all the way to 15 inches, which is very uncommon to find. It stores back, so when you're doing your basic cutting. Also, it comes with two blades. The darker one is your cutting blade, so if you wanted to even use a little bit of white out and put a C on it for cutting. And your lighter one is a scoring blade. So if you just wanted to score a piece of paper, such as this, at a 5.5, just go like this, and there's your score. If you wanted to cut this, I want to make sure you can see this, it goes beyond to 1 1/4 on the right hand side, because if you have your blade down like this and you wanted to cut 3/4, it's hard to see. So you lift this up, you can work from left or right. If you wanted to cut off just 3/4, and I'm going to move this up and out of the way, and if you see that, it actually is up out of my area, so you don't have to take it on and off with either blades. So go up from the bottom, and look at that nice crease, that nice fold it made, nice cut it makes. It's perfect. So then if you're traveling and you're going to a crop, there is up here a little switch that will lock this into place, so that is not going anywhere. Turn it over to the back, and you have an area where this opens, and you can keep, these are from a rotary trimmer that we used to sell. We no longer do, but I still use it. You can keep your bone folder or scissors or extra blades and things like that in here, and that's great. It also has this little table leg that I like to call it a table leg. So when you're using this, that will help so it's, not wobbly and keep it nice and sturdy. So everything is very nice, compact. I love it. Great lines on it. You can see everything. So the Stampin' Trimmer is another step up to your basic stamping kits. And one more thing, actually two more things that I recommend. I know a lot of people use baby wipes and they use paper towels and they use all kind of things to clean their stamps. That's great in a pinch. The only thing is what happens is it leaves the fibers behind on your stamps. So when you go to use the stamp next time, you're wondering, well, why is it kind of a little fuzzy, not so clear? That's because when you're rubbing it in a baby wipe, those little fibers are sticking to that stamp. So when you go to ink it up again, you're sort of contaminating your ink as well as not getting a good image. So this is the cheapest washer and dryer that you will ever purchase, and this is called our Stampin', oh my goodness, I just lost it, Stampin' Scrub. I'll tell you, I need to write things down anymore. I think I'm getting a little bit older. So Stampin' Scrub, it's great, it travels wonderfully, it opens up. Now you'll notice it's hard to see, but one side has a little drop on it, and the other side has a little sun on it. And what that means is one is wash and one is dry. So Stampin' Mist is also another wonderful product. This is a stamp cleaner. So what you'll do, this is a brand new one, so there we go. Let me pump it up a little bit. On one side, you're going to mist it with the Stampin' Mist, and the other side, you're going to keep dry. So if this were a stamp, after I stamp my project, I go on to the wet, go on to the dry. I'm ready to go for the next one. And these nice little fibers in here, they don't come off like a baby wipe would come off. And what I do tell people, this is the basic 2-ounce one. There's also a larger, I believe it's 4-ounce, a refill bottle. But when it starts getting down to about half, you can add a little bit of water to this and dilute it a little bit. It has a nice fresh scent to it. But in order to make it go a little bit longer, that's fine to do. These little pieces, they pop out of here. I'm not going to pop it out right now, but they do pop out, so you can clean them. You could keep them in here and rinse them, but the only thing with that is water can get behind here. So just very easily where these little groove thingies are, just pop them out, rinse them out in the sink, leave them in the drain overnight to dry, and pop them back in, and you're ready to go. Plus, you're saving the environment by doing this. You're not filling up the landfill and your trash with all those paper towels and wipes and all that kind of stuff. So Stampin' Scrub, Stampin' Mist, best of companions. Well, of course, I won't get into the detail of having acrylic blocks and all those sorts of things. If you buy wood-mounted stamps, you don't have to do that. The wood mount are ready to go. So I hope that it clears up some of the ideas as to what you need in your basic toolkit in order to get started rubber stamping and creating some really wonderful and beautiful projects. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Leave a comment below. I'd love a thumbs up or a share if there's someone else you feel that might find this information useful and helpful. So thanks for joining me tonight, and I hope you have a super stampin' night, and I'll see you all again real soon. Glimmer hugs. Bye-bye.